Alright. Hi guys, I'm Jamie, and I was asked to come up here. Heather was nice enough to invite me up here, and just to talk to you guys for a little while about some stuff. So, I graduated last year from Stonehill. It's a college down in Easton, Mass. And I graduated with a degree in healthcare and communications. And that was a pretty awesome time in my life. And it was a great opportunity for me to get out there and just learn how to be independent, build some confidence, and have a lot of, motivation going forward. And it started, for me, my motivation started when I was really young. I have cerebral palsy, which is short for CP, and it's a muscle weakness in my legs. And it also affects my right side of my upper body. But doesn't hold me back from doing anything. I'm also a wheelchair basketball player, so I play wheelchair basketball. That's out of Brockton, Massachusetts. So I did that, and I went to school for 4 years. I attended regular high school, like typical kid growing up in Situate, Massachusetts. So that's a little bit about me. And so when I was growing up, I had a very supportive family, and my biggest advocate was my brother. He's just 10 months older than me, so we were very close growing up, and he was always my biggest supporter and the person that really pushed me to try new things and get out of my comfort zone. And it was very crucial for me to have a person like that. Everybody needs that person to give you a little extra push, a little extra, reason to go above and beyond. A lot of people with disabilities, you can feel as though that you can't do things as a result of your limitations. And I say limitations because I don't like the word disability. It might sound cliche, but the word disability is very disabling. And it puts you in a category that you shouldn't subjugate yourself to. Because as soon as you allow yourself to be put in some sort of category, it's kind of like, all right, you resign yourself to the fact that I have a disability. That means I can't do something. But the word disability really means that you have difficulty doing something. That's okay. If you really think about it, how many people in this room right now would feel okay saying they have a disability? Everybody should have their hand up right now. Yeah. Because everybody in some way or shape or form has a disability. Because everybody has something that they struggle with. That's the essence of the word disability. You struggle doing something. And unless you're perfect, which I'm pretty sure everybody in here is not perfect, unless you found a phone booth and popped out and become Superman, then you're not perfect.
Even he had a weakness.
Yeah, kryptonite.
So that's kind of how I grew up. Being able to realize that anything is possible despite disability. And my family, they're very supportive, and I feel very fortunate to have that, to have that support system because, you know, I have a disability and it's not as bad as it could be. And one of the pieces of advice that I've always gotten was to stay humble. And I've seen a lot of people with disabilities, and it could be a lot worse for me. It could be a lot worse for me, but it's not. And I'm very lucky to have the ability that I have. And I'm very lucky to have the intelligence that I have in order to go to school, in order to grow up in a typical town with all my friends, and been able to go to a 4-year school and obtain a degree and pursue employment. And I've been able to do that with my family, with my brother. We grew up in a neighborhood with a lot of kids growing up, and we played sports. We played hockey, basketball, and football, and I couldn't exactly keep up with everybody, but that's okay. I participated the way I knew how to participate. And my brother, he made it possible for me to do that. He wouldn't participate with everybody else unless I was involved. So when I played football, I was the quarterback because I didn't have to move. And it was like when we played baseball, I was the pitcher because I could just stand there and throw the ball. It's like, and then when I found basketball, I was like, wait, you could play this in a wheelchair. So I was like, once I realized that, you know, I could participate and I could be successful, I found basketball, and then it turned into me being very successful playing sports. And it's like, basketball became like my sport and my way of being equal. Because when I found basketball and I found a competitive wheelchair league, I was like, okay, everybody in this league, everybody on this team, everybody who participates in this sport not only has a way to be competitive and show their spirit, but everybody's in a wheelchair, so there's no like distinct advantage unless like you're Megatron, which is there are some pretty like amazing people that play in my league, and it's very humbling to see that, because there's so many people out there with disabilities that are just making the best of their situations. And it's like, I have this problem. I'm an amputee. I don't have legs. I just have a torso. I have enough balance, enough core strength to be able to shoot a basketball. And when I'm on the court, I don't realize, or I don't pay attention to the fact that I have no legs. Or when I'm on the court, I don't pay attention personally to the fact that I have, you know, muscle weakness. Because, you know what, in that moment, in that period of time, you know what I am? I'm a basketball player. That's what I am. And when I'm with my group of friends at home, I'm not a kid. I'm not the kid in the wheelchair. I'm not the kid with the CP. I'm Jamie. And that's what my brother did for me. He made it so that everybody who knew me, everybody who had the chance to grow up with me, just looked at me as Jamie, the person who grew up living life just like everybody else, but I happen to be in a wheelchair. That's who I am. I'm not a person with a disability. Don't get me wrong. I'm perfectly okay identifying as a person with a disability. We need more people in the community with a strong mind and a strong sense of how to advocate for yourself, because you need more strong youth leaders with disabilities and in general in the community to say, hey, this is what needs to happen. This is how we need to move forward. Because I was brought up with that But I know that there's not a lot of people who have the support, who have that backing, who says, if you go for this, if you take this risk, I will be here in case you screw up, and in case you need somebody to pick you back up. So I was able to take that leap of faith and take that necessary step to, grow beyond what the necessary barriers were, because there was no barriers for me. And you're like, wait, but you're in a wheelchair. I was like, yeah. I've been this way my entire life, and I have a lot of friends that play basketball, and they've been in accidents. And I was like, okay, well, and then people was like, oh, well, you must be able to relate to them. I was like, yeah, in some ways I'm able to relate to them, but in some ways we are very completely, like, it's black and white. Like, they were once able, and now their life is completely different. But the one saving grace for them is that, they were once like basketball players, and now they can continue to be basketball players. Like, that's what, for some of them, that's the one thing that's consistent, is that they were basketball players, and now they're still basketball players. It's just different. And it's like, that's a good metaphor for life, because it's like, I do everything that everybody else does. It's just different. I just have a different approach. It's not weird. It's just that it's different, and it's okay. I gotta tell you a story. So my first year of college, I started out at this small junior college it's called Dean. It's in Franklin, Massachusetts. So I'm one of the people that is very motivated. And when I was growing up, I had a lot of difficulty accepting the word no. So I guess that's from me being pushed a lot to be independent and be motivated, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, because I feel very supported, very cared for when I was growing up, and it allowed me to do a lot of things. So when I went to college, I was like, I'm going to be this independent person who doesn't ask for help, and it's going to be great because I can do everything on my own, and I'm just going to be myself, and everything's going to be great. So when I went down to the cafeteria for the first time, I wanted to have a salad, and the salad bar was like probably 2 feet above my head, so I had to reach for everything. And I'm one of those people, like I said, I'm gonna try to do it before I ask for help. And when I say I'm gonna try to do it, I'm gonna try to do it until I can't possibly do it anymore. And that was one of the things that I had to realize, that that's not, even though it sounds good, you're like, oh yeah, you're being independent, it's not good. Because you should be using your energy on things that are going to make a difference in your life, not trying to make a salad. It was like I was standing up, almost pulling myself to a standing position, like just trying to reach for the croutons. I was like, okay, well, here's the lettuce, here's the dressing. There are totally different spots. I looked down and it was like, it feels like 3 days have passed, but it's only been like 20 minutes. And I was like, there's so many people walking around, and I was like, if I